Welcome to Ask the Legacy Recorder series. My name's Gail, and I am the face person human behind the Legacy Recorder. Today, we're going to be answering one of the main questions I get, which is, I want to record my parents' story, but I don't know where to start. Before I jump into the content, can you please subscribe? Subscribe, that means you can get notifications if you hit the bell, and it helps the channel. I'm not going to give a fake example, but I have gotten this question so many times over the last decade. It's one of the most common questions, whether it's the parent, if it's the grandparent, if it's themselves. Getting started is usually the hardest part. And once we can get past that, everything is moving and grooving. So if you're feeling this way, you're not alone. Totally understand. And I have absolutely been right there with you. There's a few underlying issues, right? Some of it's overwhelm. There's so much to capture. Maybe the person you're talking to is in their 80s, and that is a lot of time to cover. Sometimes people have a fear of doing it wrong. Spoiler, there's no wrong way to do it. In my opinion, the only thing and it's still not wrong, because if you can't do it for whatever reason, it's okay. You're not a bad person. That, not doing it is the worst thing, right? We can't do this wrong. And the other thing that happens is that we have this sense of urgency, or before it's too late, or it's already too late. And when we're in that stage of, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do, or it has to happen so fast that things that we might have been able to do naturally aren't there because we don't think it's possible. A lot of people feel this way. I have felt this way. I continue to feel this way. And I have a decade of experience actively working on telling stories, helping people tell their stories, and developing ways to help people in situations like hospice and when there's dementia and Alzheimer's and other stress-inducing situations when we want to be able to talk to each other. Like I said, the biggest mistake, in my opinion, is not starting at all, and just do it imperfectly. Just get going. Some questions for you to consider while we're going through this and doing a little bit of a self-assessment is, think about how much time do you have? Is your parent willing and able to participate? Is this for you to share with family? Is it just for you to view, or are you trying to share it with family? That can change how, or will change potentially, how things are recorded, how things are shared, etc. And how comfortable are you with tech? It's totally okay if you're not comfortable. When I started a decade ago, we did not have access to the tools that we have access to today. And I'm not talking about AI specifically, just being able to record this video I went through a few different options because I haven't recorded videos in a while, and I had to go back and be like, all right, I know how I used to do this before, but how do I do this now? Because the tech has changed and all those things. So think about how comfortable you are with tech. So let's get to the recommendation part, right? We've thought through what we kind of need to do, and in order to get this storytelling project going, regardless of who you're doing it with. So starting with something simple and small, and try to start this week if you can. There is a YouTube series called The 52 Weeks of Storytelling. That is a completely comprehensive approach. If you need something a little bit easier to jump into, there is something called the 5-minute storytelling, and that's something where you pick one memory or topic, you ask one question, and capture it however is easiest. You can do that with a voice memo, you can do it with video, or you can just write it in notes on your phone. So most smartphones will have a voice recorder app. You can record the person responding, and with the 5-minute storytelling option, there are free scripts available for that. I'll have it linked wherever you're watching or listening to this. It's also on the legacyrecorder.com website. It's right at the very top, 5-minute storytelling. And I'm pretty sure if you Google 5-minute storytelling, it'll show up. But the free scripts are basically, I came up with 6 starter questions and did an if this, then that. So if a person says yes or a person says no, it tells you what to say next. So it kind of walks you through a little bit of an interview. And that's a really simple way to start a conversation. If you need more structure, there's a family story planner or a Get Her Story workbook. So the Get Her Story workbook is specific to a female presenting person, and it can be used for anyone. It just happened to be a Mother's Day thing that I came up with quite a few years ago. And the Family Story Planner is fantastic if you are trying to work with a group. You need to organize herd your cats, so to speak, in your family to do the storytelling project. As I mentioned earlier, it ends up being kind of a comprehensive approach, but there's a 52 Weeks of Storytelling video series. Those are all free here on YouTube. If you want to just utilize the content, go for it. If you'd like to have the prompts sent to your inbox every week for 52 weeks, that's available as well. For most people, starting with the free scripts and just do one story this week, that is one of the easiest things you can do. One thing I do want to share before we sign off today is that you don't need to do the whole life story in one setting. That's ridiculous and really not possible. And trying to get everything at once is overwhelming, so focus on small moments. I like to encourage people to do small moments, big moments, sad moments, the negative things. We don't always include those in life stories, and I think those moments are genuinely just as important as the happy ones. You can also capture everyday stories and details. If someone doesn't remember what happened 15, 20 years ago, but they do remember what happened today or yesterday or this morning, meeting where they are is a beautiful way to acknowledge their human dignity and give them space and presence with who they are right now. So your homework, because we love homework, right, is to pick one question, ask it this week, and capture the answer however you can. If you find you have questions or problems, again, hit me up in the comments, wherever you'd like. It's me answering everywhere. So with that, as a quick recap, start simple, small, try for this week. Go check out the 5-minute storytelling scripts, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more. And I will see you on the next video.